Okay.
All right, 7, and I will officially call this meeting of the Seneca County Board of Commissioners for Tuesday evening, April 19th, to order. Please join us for the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Join me for a brief prayer. Lord, thank you for all the many blessings that you give us each and every day, and for the opportunity to be in the northwest corner of Seneca County this evening to conduct the business that we are honored to be responsible for. Be with us and guide us through this process. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
And so we roll call. Let's get this with it first.
Commissioner Stacy?
Here.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Here.
Commissioner Zoller?
Here.
Before we do the signing of the journal and whatnot, thank Jackson Township for allowing us to have our quarterly night meeting here on your premises.
Glad to have you.
But glad to do so. Like I said, that we've been doing this for, I guess this is the 4th year, doing a quarterly night meeting and getting all around the county and the various facilities and so forth. So it's a good opportunity. Like I said, lends ourselves to be available to the public at an evening time zone rather than just 10 o'clock on Tuesdays in Tiffin. So we appreciate it. Thank you. We'll have the signing of the journal, and I'll accept the motion to approve the DVD recording from the previous session from last Tuesday, April 12th, and the index.
Make a motion to approve it as outlined. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Before we go to any adjustments, quickly introduce, although I think she's staying for your meeting, and Charlene Watkins is our new director for Seneca Regional Planning Commission.
Hello.
And so if you would know who that was, and I think you already met him and William, our reporters, 3 times in the Advertiser Tribune.
Well, not really our reporter.
There are friendly reporters who always cover all of our meetings. Some of the other regulars didn't make it
Stacy
tonight.
Wilson and Nikki, our staff.
Yeah, staff. So I guess we could have you guys introduce yourselves quickly. I know most of us know you, but Linda, we'll start.
I'm Linda Nader, the Jackson Township Fiscal Officer.
Steve Nader, the Township Trustee.
Rick Finley, Township Trustee.
Tim Reinhardt, Township Trustee.
Thanks. Any adjustments to the printed agenda?
Yeah, I'd like to have some discussions on the airport, the Tice property. There's a surprise.
We'll put it under old business.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anybody else have any?
I just gotta bring up the staff.
Okay, yep.
Hunt County Area Transportation.
And a quick update on Board of Election, and I'm gonna mention the Batchelder meeting.
Okay. Well, let's start with the airport Tice property.
Okay, as you know, that we have a grant from the FAA to purchase a property that we purchased last September, I guess, and they had to vacate it as of March 31st. And part of the agreement was that the owner had the ability to sell anything in the house and so forth and so on. If it was plumbing or cabinets or so forth and so on, she could sell anything. And then she would have to vacate the house. We had a grant to tear the house down and to reclaim the land. It was a $30,000 grant. Right prior to the auction that the lady was having to sell the house, I was approached by an individual saying, "Fred, I'd like to buy the house and move it." And time I see no issue with it. Is actually from the county standpoint, the advantage here is instead of tearing the house down and losing the tax base, if they move it down the street, we still have a tax base there. And also the additional advantage to the county is we had even though it's not county money, it's FAA money, grant money. We had $30,000 that was in there to tear the house down and to reclaim the land. We don't have to tear the house down, and we have to, I think it's still our responsibility to reclaim the land, and that's really where we lie right now, is the individual has purchased the house, is underway of moving the house, and now we have to do is look at the agreement. Now the agreement's with us and him as to vacating, tearing the street out, tearing the curbs out, and filling the basement in.
Why don't you let Stacy read, what the prosecutor recommended?
Okay.
Now, I think I sent it to you, the other day, and these were some of the language that, the prosecutor and the, airport manager had worked out, anticipating getting the land straight, the way we needed it, but they were talking basement walls removed, all concrete material removed, all plumbing, cap the well, electricity, sewer, cable vision terminated, a driveway curb and street removed, and I think that's when, Commissioner Zoller had asked, what had we done, or what we were required to do with the other properties. We had pulled the bid specs on those, and we had to do, removing the structure, remaining partial basement, no fireplace stack, concrete drive walkway, trees, and shrubs, were what was in the bid specs that we did for Sauber's property. But I know you had indicated that to have them move forward, push in the basement walls, and just fill it in with dirt was what I thought was recommended from you.
Okay, well, the first house, I consulted with the airport operator today, and the first house that was tore down, the basement walls were just pushed in, and they filled it up with dirt and leveled it off and so forth. Again, we have to realize is that the agreement with Tice was just that we just bought her house, and she could sell anything that she wanted to there, and then we were responsible for everything else, tearing it down, capping the sewer, tearing up the street, removing the sidewalk, we were responsible for all of that. Well, now with the house being moved, we don't have to worry about tearing the house down, so there will be a savings there. Even though it's not gonna come back to the county, it's probably gonna be less grant money that we're gonna get. We'll have to, I assume we're probably gonna have to give that back to the FAA. But I don't know as a fact, but again, wherever it comes from, it's still taxpayers' money. My feeling is I want this to be a win-win situation. I mean, I think we are asking more for the property owner, the guy who bought the house, to have him, now he's gotta vacate the basement, he's gotta tear the sidewalk up, he's gotta tear the curb up, he's gotta tear the street up, he's gotta do all that. That was not part of the deal when we were dealing with Tice. We were gonna take that responsibility on. The net to the county is, let's say we had 30,000 in there to do all this. Now we don't have to tear the house down. So let's just say that's roughly 15,000. We're gonna save the taxpayers, even though it's FAA money, we're gonna save, and no matter where it comes from, it originally comes from us, the taxpayers, it will be less cost to the county. And in addition, the county still will have a house that it had real estate taxes on. So we talk about win-win. House is gonna be moved, where before it was gonna be tore down, would be zero taxes. Now it's gonna be moved down the street, still gonna be a tax base. So it's a win for the county there, we still have a structure there, and it's a win for the county. Instead of spending 30,000, we may get done for 10, 15, whatever, to do the other stuff. I don't think we need to penalize the individual who purchased the house.
What did Mr. Gallo assume he was gonna have to do?
He assumed that when him and I spoke, he said that it was to his knowledge, the other houses that they just pushed the basement in and filled it with dirt. And since he's digging a basement for the house where it's gonna be moved, he said he would go ahead, push the basement in and landscape where the basement was and filled in with dirt and leveled it off. Now, as far as removing the driveway, that wasn't discussed. As far as removing the curb, that wasn't discussed. As far as removing the street, wasn't discussed. And again, why should we make him to do it? We were gonna do it anyway. I mean, it was part of our deal.
Do we still get the FAA grant if we aren't tearing the house down, or was it? I mean, I know that covered those things, like you're saying, but are we at risk of losing that because we're not tearing the house down?
Because Tice actually sold the house, all we're doing is extending it. We didn't sell the house, so we're still assuming we're in compliance. We haven't got the grant money in yet. It hasn't been accepted.
Basically,
Yeah.
all the county has done is where the house is gonna be vacated by March 31st, we'd give 90 days. We're gonna save money and we just extended it 90 days.
Have we made application for the grant?
Yes,
Is there any case you have that we wouldn't get it?
no,
The assumption is.
the assumption is we're still getting it.
And obviously, if we don't use the full 30 because it doesn't cost that much, then we're obviously will not receive the full 30 either, which is no problem. Like I said, it'll go back and be reincorporated. But if we don't get any of it because we're not removing a structure, I don't know, maybe that doesn't impact it or not. I guess I'd like to know that.
Do we have any idea as to what it will cost us to remove the foundation that's there and the driveway and the street?
No.
Would we get a bid for that?
The architect that works, Stantec, they would do the bidding for that, but they haven't, we kind of put their contract on hold because it was for the full specs.
Historically, what does it cost us? Do you know that?
I think we paid Alan 15.
15,000 to do that,
15,
Alan
yeah.
excavating.
Yeah, theirs was
To
an
do what?
emergency, to take one of the houses down. One of the houses did exactly what you indicated Tice was gonna do, is just take bits and pieces. So when they were done, it was literally coming down. We didn't have time to spec it out and bid it to get somebody, and we had to have Alan come in and get it down because it was a safety hazard.
So did he actually then kick you in the basement?
Yeah, that's the one they kicked in the basement. They just kind of,
They just took the block and threw it in a hole, and I asked, the airport operator, I said, Brad, I said, we ever gonna build anything there? He said, no, as long as it's an airport, we can't. That's why we had to vacate the house, because it falls within the runway right away. So, long as it's an airport, they're never gonna do anything. One of the houses, we had them excavate the basement right in the hole and just put dirt on top of it. I don't see why and again, we have money allocated for that. Then, well, somebody had to come up with a price of 30,000.
If we do
For the
get a
grant.
grant and we don't use it all, what happens to the rest of the money
we've only drawn down what we need
from that?
from FAA.
From that?
The current grant in is what we've got for the house.
Who established the 30,000?
That was what Stantec, estimate was gonna cost for the demolition and their fees.
Okay, so it's gotta be less.
Right.
It's gotta be less. You don't have a house, and what I understand also, there was money in there for asbestos removal, tearing the house down. You don't have to worry about that now, so it may be substantially less now. My issue is I don't think we need to penalize the individual who bought the house. If anything, he's helping us out.
Okay, I'll move that if we receive the grant, once the grant's secured, that the county take care of, all items as they relate to the vacant lot, including the basement removal, street removal, driveway removal, bushes.
He is capping the well off. He has disconnected the cable vision, disconnected electricity, he's done all of those things. We're talking about is just the street, the driveway, the basement, and the curb, and trees.
So it's a second?
Pardon?
Is that a second?
I
Motion?
will second that motion.
Okay. Motion and a second. Any further? Nikki, call the roll.
Commissioner Kirschner,
Yes,
Commissioner Zoller,
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy.
Yes. Approved. Thank you. Okay. And,
We will need the contract rewritten.
Board elections.
Board of Elections, I have talked to, Jim Jim Erman and Jim Fruth were going to meet on March 10th. That's when all of both boards could be available. So they're gonna come to our session on May the 10th.
I was gonna say,
May the
when you
10th.
said, I'm going, wait,
I'm going back a month, May the 10th.
May
excuse me.
10th, they're coming to our meeting.
They're coming to our meeting. And also, they had asked if Fred and I could get them into the Hope Royce area next Tuesday at 5 with a contractor to do some work. We contacted Diana from Hope Royce, and she said that that would be fine. She was hoping we would be done by 5:30 because she has another engagement. So I don't know how long they thought it was going to take, but
Okay.
It's 5 o'clock
5 o'clock on
at
Tuesday.
Hope Royce next Tuesday.
The only thing I might suggest is that you make it 4:30 at the contractor and get there earlier and do some of his stuff. This half hour doesn't seem to be a lot of time.
Yeah.
If the board of elections members can't get there, at least the contractor can get in.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you, there's gonna be a conflict there. We have law review at 4:30. And I know that Jim Fruth and I are on law review. So it's gonna be a little bit difficult.
Contractor,
Yeah.
I got his email. Yeah.
All right, Batchelder meeting,
Just wanted to update, I did get confirmation that we could do May the 11th. They were gonna work on the times, but everybody seemed available that day.
Okay.
So I'll let you know the times as soon as he gets them back. He's gotta schedule it with.
Do we, I mean, since they were kind of open with that, now are we gonna be meeting with any of the representatives?
that's what they're trying to say.
That's what they're
Yes, they're
scheduling.
gonna-
Oh,
Department
then,
has representatives, ODOT, that kind of thing. We probably ought to plan an evening meal, with one of the groups by the time we get out of there.
I would think,
There's
yeah.
no sense going down there and not, at least having a conversation with one of those folks.
Can we notify, Representative Reineke and Burke that we are coming?
That's what they're doing.
Figured they
They're
would.
doing
Yeah,
that?
that's what they're trying to schedule with
Okay.
us.
Why would, cause we kinda left it loosey-goosey a morning or,
And such.
On a Wednesday, yes.
I don't think, well,
yeah, we kinda left it loosey-goosey morning or afternoon. I didn't know that we were gonna meet with some of the representatives, so in my mind, they'll run the show. They'll tell us when to be there. It's not a matter of loosey-goosey here.
I thought they recently thought they were gonna need to plan for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so just early due, but I'm not positive of that when I talked to Burke the other day. Right, so a bit more on that, and.
speaking of, since we're talking on that topic, I saw a note on our calendar, I think that, Burke may possibly stop by Thursday this
Thursday,
week.
yeah.
So in the office,
Yeah, he didn't know, he's scheduled to be somewhere north, I don't know if it's in Sandusky County. And he said, if I can work it, I will stop in, and I said, well, let us know, and he goes, yeah, and I might just stop in a couple of the offices because I don't know that I'm gonna have any control over my schedule. Gonna be trying to do it on his way back through, or what
I
is
tell him
that?
to take one of the 4-lane highways through Central County.
What, Stacy, if I could, if I'm not there and Senator Burke's, you know he's gonna come, just make sure you notify us, Commissioner, so we can.
Yeah, that's why I
Try to be
wrote it
there
on the
at the
calendar, because
time,
I
yeah.
have no idea
Yeah,
at the
right.
time.
There's
I know
some,
I'm at Fostoria in the morning,
there's some issues we need to talk with him about, the Board of Elections, the upcoming potential expense, and some of the things the Batchelder Group is gonna be doing, but I'd like to do a one-on-one with him too.
okay, we had added stats. You attended their meeting today?
Yeah, I just kinda wanted to bring everybody, very, very quickly, just to let you know that, there will be a request for some funds.
Yes, yeah.
And that should be, a copy of that should be to us by Tuesday's meeting, next Tuesday, that is. Will be next Tuesday? Yeah. And that, just in general, they did 72,700 transports in 2015, and they did 410,000 miles, not including the deadhead miles that they did. So I was just thought that was interesting to let everybody know that. So they will send also with their request a budget for 2016, showing what the needs might be.
Lloyd?
All right, I guess that'll lead us to our news,
I'll take it.
our new business.
I have bill vouchers,
Sorry.
14998. I have a supplement to the permit appropriations for the Seneca County Sewer District, putting $142.40 into other expense, these are for settlement fees. And resolution authorizing an appropriation adjustment within the capital projects fund. This is moving $11,640 from contingency to museum. This is the additional, work approved, at one of our last meetings for the porch and, the windows or doors.
Doors in the front of the museum as well.
Yeah. Yes, I think all three of you have the same pen.
Thought about that. Thank you.
Priorities. I have a resolution authorizing Seneca County, to enter into a joint cooperative agreement with the city of
Right, they're not the
Fostoria. This is important chip
They're
stuff.
not.
Okay, you and Fred have the same pen. Holly has a different one.
Okay, again, authorizing Seneca County to enter into a joint cooperative agreement with the city of Fostoria, city of Tiffin for programming in 2016 funding under the Community Housing Impact and Preservation Program. I have a resolution establishing the Indigent Driver Interlock and Alcohol Monitoring Fund. This is at the request of the judges. A resolution authorizing an agreement with Palmer Consulting for the CSB Fifth Third Building Project, and this is to get the specs to get that bid out. They're actually just about done with it. And that's all the resolutions I have.
Do I have a motion?
A motion we approve the resolutions as outlined.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments, concerns, questions? Seeing none, roll call please.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes.
Commissioner Zoller?
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes, all approved, thank you. We have,
Yes.
we have a bid opening to do, can we go ahead and do that since they were due this morning?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna pass around a sign-in sheet if everybody can please sign that.
You're gonna get double paid this time, Tim.
Still being there.
Now, what's this bid openings for,
Engineer.
engineer? Bridge or road or something?
Superstructure pre-stressed box beam. C-1600, according to this right. She'll tell us what the estimate was and all that as soon as she gets that open.
It seems like it's open now. Childproof. And a number. Just like Christmas, my dad would always do. Envelope inside an envelope. Okay, this is for the Township Road 138-7.20 superstructure replacement pre-stressed box beams. The bid is front line, we find the engineer's estimate first. Engineer's estimate, $45,500. This bid is from Pre-Stress Services Industries LLC out of Columbus, Ohio. And their total bid amount is $58,800.
Have to let it out for rebid, then, won't they?
It's greater than the 10%. That's the only one I had. Mark, and he can
So
tell us
just
what we know.
for the audience here, if the engineer bids his estimate, if the actual comes in more than 10%, it has to be rebid. Or he'll have to re-estimate, estimate it.
I'm surprised they, if it's under 50,000, we don't have to bid. Do it, you know, we just take an estimate and go with it.
And maybe he thought it was close enough to,
To do it just to cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, evidently it wasn't enough.
Anybody else have anything else for Darby? Opportunity for citizens' comments, and that's the last thing that covers everything we have on our agenda tonight. So, does anyone have anything for the commissioners meeting for citizens' comments?
You guys have to fill in for our regular,
Yeah,
people that come to
the
meetings.
three properties you talked about for the airport, are they adjoining properties to the airport? That's-
Yeah, well, let me explain to you. FAA has got a rule that every 10 feet from the middle of the runway, you can have a 2-foot obstruction. 20 feet, 4-foot obstruction. 50, above, and it goes up. And what it is, there was a roll of this property in particular, and it is insane what was done. I'm sorry. The trees in the backyard fall within the FAA's restriction. And unfortunately, it was, the application was in and it was just couldn't change it. But, so we got a grant for FAA for $300,000 to purchase the house, and then a grant to tear the house down. And all that was wrong with it is trees in the backyard. And so in the future, I was been very insistent on that in the future. I mean, it seems to me the logical thing to do is for the county to buy it, put a deed restriction on there. You can't have anything over a certain height in the back, and then sell it back at a discount, to somebody, and just sometimes government doesn't work.
Problem,
Yeah, it just seems so much easier that way, but
Just theoretically, the last one the airport has to worry about.
yeah, that's what we're told, but the FAA and so what it is a plane comes in and it's maybe going left or right, they wanna make sure that there's, plenty of free space, clearance, so. And when they built the airport, that regulation wasn't in place, and they just continue to tighten up on it, so. But we believe, to the best of our knowledge, and what we're told is that this should be the last property that will fall within that area. It's the ones that just adjoin the runway.
We did have some guests come in, and they may not know, this is the county commissioners. This is Floyd Schwartz and his son Sam.
Hi.
We have a couple newspapers here. I don't know if you have any questions for them, this public meeting.
You're talking about the airport. Are they still gonna extend the airport out?
They're talking Tiffin Airport.
Oh, the Tiffin Airport?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Not the Fostoria Airport. This is the Seneca County Airport.
Okay.
Like a Miller Airport.
Anything else for citizens' comments? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconded.
The motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
All right.
Stand adjourned, 7:28.